Hello everyone, we are Reyes and Nase, and in this project, we applied unsupervised machine learning techniques, clustering, and association rule mining to extract meaningful insights from real-world retail data. Our objective is to gain hands-on experience in model building, data interpretation, and insight generation while also understanding the core ideas behind reinforcement learning in a separate context. This video presents our end-to-end process starting with Part A, data acquisition and preprocessing, where we clean and prepare, transform the dataset for clustering and basket analysis. For Part A, we use the online retail dataset from Kaggle, which includes real transaction data from a UK-based online store. It's ideal for unsupervised learning tasks like clustering and association rule mining because it has no predefined labels and includes transaction dates, quantities, customer IDs, and product details. We choose this dataset because it's rich in behavioral signals. It supports both RFM-based segmentation and market basket analysis. It reflects actual customer activities, which makes it great for real-world pattern discovery. For our dataset fields, it includes invoice number, stock code and description, quantity and unit price, invoice date, customer ID, and country. Now for our strengths and weaknesses, it's detailed timestamp and customer link perfect for RPM and frequent item set mining. However, it contains missing values, product returns, and some non-product entries that require cleaning. In this cell, we imported essential libraries like Pandas and NumPy for data handling, Seaborn and Matplotlib for visualization, and scikit-learn for clustering and scaling. For association rule mining, we use the MLXtend library. For these cells, we loaded the dataset using pandas, then reviewed the first few rows and summary statistics. These are over for 540,000 transactions, but we noticed missing customer ID values and negative quantities, which we address in the next step. In this cell, we removed duplicates, filtered out missing values, and excluded rows with non-positive quantities or prices. This reduced the dataset from 541,000 rows to 397,000, ensuring quality for analysis. For our data pre-processing, we computed RFM values per customer. So you can see in the output, recency is equal to days since last purchase, frequency is the number of unique transactions, and monetary is the total spending. We then scale the features using standard scaler to prepare for k-means clustering. In this cell, we preprocess for association rules. For market basket analysis, we clean the product data further, removing cancelled orders, irrelevant items, and standardizing item names. Then we converted transactions into a binary basket format where each row is an invoice and columns represent items, setting up for our data and the a priori algorithm. With our dataset now clean and processed, we're ready to dive into clustering and association rule modeling in the next steps. Now let's move on for the part B. For clustering tasks, we explored both k-means and dbScan. K-means is fast, scalable, and well suited for numerical data like our RFM features. It requires the number of clusters to be predefined but supports tools like the elbow method and silhouette score for validation. On the other hand, dbScan doesn't need a predefined number of clusters and handles noise well, but it struggles with varying densities and large datasets. Since our RFM data is continuous and likely contains spherical clusters, we chose k-means for its efficiency, interpretability, and compatibility with our validation methods. And now for the next cell, to identify the optimal number of clusters, we apply the elbow method. It suggested that around 3 clusters show the biggest drop in WCSS. However, we also computed the silhouette score, which evaluate how well separated the clusters are. As we can see, the best score was observed at k equals 5 with a silhouette score of 0.617, indicating good cluster separation. Based on these two metrics, we proceeded with 5 clusters for the final model. For our next cells, here we train our final k-means model using k equals 5 and assign customers into 5 clusters based on their RFM values. To evaluate the clustering quality, we use internal metrics. As we can see in the output, silhouette score has 0.685, showing a strong cohesion within clusters. Also, Davis-Bode index 0.680, a low score indicating distinct and compact clusters. Since clustering is unsupervised and lacks ground truth labels, we rely on these metrics instead of accuracy. Here, in this next cell, as we can see, we use PCA to reduce our data to two dimension for visualization. The scatter plot clearly shows distinct customer segments formed by the k-means algorithm. Each color represents a different cluster. As we can see, cluster 0, the color green, it means low engagement customers, which is infrequent shoppers with low spending. And for cluster 1, the orange, it means recent but passive customers and low frequency in spending. For the cluster 2, color blue, these are loyal top spenders and very frequent and high value buyers. For the cluster 3, the pink color, these are the moderate value segment where these are the customer that occasional shoppers with steady spending. And the last one, the cluster 4, light green, these are elite customers where these are extremely high spend and frequency. And that's all for our part B. Now let's move on to part C. In this part, we use the a priori algorithm to identify items that are frequently bought together. We selected a priori over FP growth for better explainability in small datasets and easier control over rule generation. So we can see in the next cell, we applied a priori with a minimum support of 1%, resulting in frequent item sets like white hanging heart, tea light holder, Regency cake stand tree tire. These are some of the most common purchases in our dataset. For our next cell, we generated association rules with minimum confidence of 40%, meaning the rules are correct at least 4 out of 10 times. Example include if a customer buys two specific tea plates, they are 93.9 likely to buy the third matching one. Some rules achieve leap scores above 60, meaning they're highly significant and not due to chance. Now, in our next cell, here we filter strong rules, where we filtered for strong rules with leap over 3% and confidence over 60%, where this produced over 148 high value quality rules, which are most reliable patterns for product bundling and recommendations. As we can see, we visualize the rules with support on the x-axis and confidence on the y-axis and leaf as a size and color. The first chart shows all rules, while the second focuses only on strong rules, helping us spot impactful combinations for promotions. As we can see in the next cell, here we sample rules and business insights. As you can see, we examine 5 sample rules. For example, if a customer buys red kitchen scales, then they're likely to buy ivory kitchen scales. Another rule shows that customers who buy plasters in Thin Strongman often also get plasters in Teen Circus Parade. This pattern supports decision on cross-selling, bundling, and store layout optimizations. And that's all for the part C. Now, let's move on to part D. In this section, we use reinforcement learning to simulate a product recommendation system. The agent learns by trial and error, making recommendation and receiving rewards, gradually improving its decision-making strategy. Here we define three user states: viewing a party bunting, T-plate, or retrospot bug, and three actions the agent can take recommended one of those items. The reward structure is simple: +1 for a correct match, 0 for neutral, -1 for irrelevant recommendations. As we can see here in the code demonstration, we use Q-learning, a basic reinforcement learning algorithm. Over 10 simulated 10 episodes, the agent randomly explored state action combination and updated its Q values using a learning rate of 0.1 and a discount factor of 0.9. Here, after training, the Q table showed that recommending bunting when viewing party bunting had a Q value of 0.10, recommending retrospot bug while it's being viewed also reached 0.10, and irrelevant combinations had lower or even negative Q values. Here, learning process insight, the agent starts by guessing randomly. With each episode, it updates its Q table based on feedback, learning to recommend items that align with customers' interests. And lastly, real-world application and limitations. Advantages: no need for labeled data, learns directly from user interactions, can adapt to changing behaviors. For the challenges: need more training episodes for better accuracy, may make poor recommendations early on, and harder to interpret compared to simpler models. And that's all for part D. Now for our part E. For our part E, overall, this project showcased how unsupervised and reinforcement learning techniques can be used to extract meaningful insights from raw online retail transactions. Using the UCI Online Retail Dataset, we develop a multi-layer approach involving customer segmentation, association, rule mining, and reinforcement-based recommendations. In the customer segmentation phase, we use K-means clustering on RFM values, recency, frequency, and monetary. These help us identify 5 distinct customer profiles ranging from loyal high spenders to low engagement buyers. This segment can inform targeted marketing, for instance, prioritizing Cluster 2 for loyalty perks and re-engaging Cluster 0 with special offers. Next, we perform market basket analysis using the Flori algorithm, identifying highly product pairs. An example we found: customers who buy red kitchen scales often also purchase ivory kitchen scales. These associations can be used to drive cross-selling and bundle deals to boost order values. We also explored reinforcement learning through a basic Q-learning model that stimulates product recommendation behavior. The agent learns from feedback over time, adapting its recommendations based on customer interaction. While early results are simple, this highlights the potential of RL for dynamic real-time personalization in retail. For our recommendations, segment-based personalization: use the customer clusters to guide engagement strategies. High-spending customers should receive premium offers, while low-engagement ones can be targeted with reactivation campaigns. Also, we can deploy association rules, integrate strong product combination from a priori into website suggestions or email promotions to drive upselling and improve convenience. Another, gradually introduce RL systems. Start using reinforcement learning in safe areas like homepage suggestions, testing their impact via A/B experiments, and also strengthen data infrastructure. Ensure proper logging or user behavior like clicks, views, and purchases to support continuous learning and reliable RL performance. Lastly, combine methods for smarter strategies. use insights from clustering and a priori to inform RL agents, tailoring both recommendation and exploration strategies for each customer type. Overall, in conclusion, combining unsupervised learning with reinforcement learning opens the door to adaptive intelligent retail systems. With thoughtful deployment, these tools can personalize customer experience, improve retention, and ultimately drive revenue growth. That's all. Thank you.